Have you ever wondered why you've always felt like you possess abilities that others don't seem to have, but you've never fully understood what they are or how to access them? Why you've had experiences throughout your life that felt supernatural, yet you've been taught to dismiss them as coincidence or imagination? If you've been sensing that there's more to your spiritual nature than meets the eye, if you've felt like you're carrying dormant powers that are just waiting to be awakened, then what I'm about to share with you will finally reveal hidden abilities that every chosen one possesses. Abilities that most people never discover because they don't know how to recognize or develop them. This isn't about fantasy or wishful thinking. This is about understanding the very real spiritual gifts that are encoded in your DNA, wired into your consciousness, and waiting to be activated as you step into your role as a chosen one. These powers aren't reserved for a select few. They're the birthright of every awakening soul who has the courage to embrace the true spiritual nature. I know how frustrating it can be to sense these abilities within yourself, but not know how to access them consistently. I know what it's like to have moments of profound spiritual connection, healing, or knowing, only to have them fade away, leaving you wondering if they were real at all. If this resonates with you, you're not alone in this. What you've been experiencing are glimpses of your true spiritual capabilities, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these powers are and how to begin developing them consciously. The truth is, every chosen one is born with a specific set of spiritual abilities that are designed to help them fulfill their mission on Earth. These aren't random gifts. They're precisely calibrated tools that your soul chose before incarnating. Abilities that will allow you to serve humanity in the unique way you came here to serve. But here's the challenge: most of these powers remain hidden because our society doesn't teach us how to recognize or develop them. What I'm about to share with you will change everything you thought you knew about your spiritual potential. You'll discover abilities you didn't know you had, understand experiences you couldn't explain, and most importantly, learn how to begin activating these dormant powers so you can step fully into your role as a chosen one. Let me share something deeply personal that happened to me 7 years ago, an experience that opened my eyes to the reality of these hidden powers and changed the entire trajectory of my spiritual journey. I was going through one of the most difficult periods of my life. My father had been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and the doctors had given him only weeks to live. I was spending every day at the hospital, watching this strong man who had raised me slowly fade away, feeling completely helpless and desperate. One evening, as I sat beside his bed holding his hand, something extraordinary happened. I suddenly felt this warm, tingling energy flowing through my palms into his body. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, but the sensation was so strong and distinct that I couldn't ignore it. My father, who had been unconscious for hours, suddenly opened his eyes and looked directly at me with more clarity than he'd had in days. He squeezed my hand and said, "I can feel something, like warmth, like light flowing through me. What are you doing?" I didn't know what to say because I wasn't consciously doing anything. The energy was just flowing through me naturally, as if my hands had become conduits for some kind of healing force. That night, my father's condition improved dramatically. His pain decreased, his breathing became easier, and he was more alert and present than he'd been in weeks. The doctors were baffled by his sudden improvement, calling it unexplainable and medically impossible. But I knew what had happened. I had accessed one of the hidden powers that I'd been carrying my entire life. Without knowing it, this wasn't the first time I'd experienced something like this, but it was the first time I couldn't dismiss it as coincidence. I realized that I had been having these experiences my whole life, moments where I seemed to know things I shouldn't know, where my presence seemed to calm chaotic situations, where I could sense what others were feeling even when they tried to hide it. That experience with my father became the catalyst for my deeper exploration into the hidden powers that every chosen one possesses. I began to understand that these abilities aren't supernatural. They're natural aspects of human consciousness that most people never develop because they don't know they exist. Over the years since then, I've worked with thousands of awakening souls, and I've discovered that every single chosen one carries within them a specific set of spiritual abilities. These powers are not random. They're directly connected to your soul's mission and purpose. And once you understand what they are and how to access them, everything about your spiritual journey changes. Now, let me reveal to you the hidden powers that every chosen one possesses, because understanding these abilities will transform how you see yourself and your spiritual potential. The first hidden power that every chosen one possesses is what I call energetic healing transmission. This is the ability to channel healing energy through your presence, your touch, or even your focused intention. You don't need to be trained as a Reiki master or energy healer to access this ability. It's already within you, waiting to be recognized and developed. This power manifests in many ways. You might notice that people feel calmer when they're around you, that animals are naturally drawn to you, or that plants seem to thrive in your presence. You might find that when you place your hands on someone who's in pain, they feel relief. Or you might discover that your words have an unusual ability to comfort and heal emotional wounds. The key to understanding this power is recognizing that you're not the source of the healing energy. You're a conduit for it. The universe flows healing energy through you when you're aligned with your highest purpose and open to serving others. This is why many chosen ones find that their healing abilities are strongest when they're focused on helping others rather than on demonstrating their own power. I remember working with Sarah, a member of our community, who discovered her healing abilities quite by accident. She was visiting her elderly grandmother, who was suffering from chronic arthritis pain. As Sarah held her grandmother's hands during their conversation, she noticed her grandmother's face relaxing and her breathing becoming deeper. When Sarah asked if she was feeling better, her grandmother said, "The pain is completely gone. What did you do to my hands?" Sarah hadn't done anything consciously, but she had unknowingly activated her natural healing transmission ability. Once she understood what had happened, she began to develop this gift more intentionally, and now she regularly helps others through energy healing work. Stay with me, because what comes next will reveal the second hidden power. And this one will completely change how you understand your intuitive abilities. The second hidden power that every chosen one possesses is multidimensional perception. This is the ability to perceive information, energy, and consciousness beyond the limitations of the 5 physical senses. Most people call this intuition, but it's actually much more sophisticated than simple gut feelings or hunches. Multidimensional perception allows you to access information from the quantum field, from higher dimensional consciousness, from the collective unconscious, and from the energetic imprints that all beings and situations carry. This is why you've always been able to sense things about people that they haven't told you. Why you can walk into a room and immediately feel what happened there. Why you sometimes know things are going to happen before they do. This ability manifests in several ways. You might experience it as sudden knowing, information that appears in your consciousness without any logical source. You might perceive it as emotional or energetic impressions, feeling what others are feeling even when they're trying to hide it. You might access it through symbolic or metaphorical images that appear in your mind, carrying deeper meanings about situations or people. Some chosen ones experience multidimensional perception through what seems like telepathic communication, receiving thoughts or messages from others, from spiritual guides, or from higher aspects of consciousness. Others perceive it as energetic sight, the ability to see auras, energy fields, or the spiritual essence of people and places. The key to developing this power is learning to trust the information you receive, even when it doesn't make logical sense, and distinguishing between true multidimensional perception and mental projection or wishful thinking. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The third hidden power is what I call reality influence. And this one will shock you, because it challenges everything you've been taught about how reality works. Reality influence is the ability to affect physical reality through consciousness, intention, and energetic alignment. This isn't about magical thinking or trying to control outcomes through willpower. This is about understanding that consciousness and matter are intimately connected, and that your focused intention can influence the quantum field in ways that manifest as changes in your physical experience. You've probably experienced this power without recognizing it. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a really positive, aligned state, things seem to flow more easily? Parking spaces appear when you need them. People are more helpful. Opportunities arise seemingly out of nowhere. Or conversely, when you're in a negative state, everything seems to go wrong. Technology malfunctions. People are difficult. Obstacles appear everywhere. This isn't coincidence. This is your consciousness influencing the probability fields around you. When you're aligned with your highest good and operating from love rather than fear, you naturally influence reality in positive ways. When you're operating from lower vibrational states, you tend to attract experiences that match that energy. The more conscious you become of this power, the more intentionally you can work with it. This is why meditation, energy work, and spiritual practice are so important for chosen ones. They help you maintain the energetic alignment that allows you to influence reality in positive ways. If you're still watching, you're definitely someone who has experienced this reality influence, even if you didn't understand what was happening at the time. The fourth hidden power is collective consciousness interface. This is the ability to connect with and influence the collective consciousness of groups, communities, or even humanity as a whole. Every chosen one has the capacity to serve as a bridge between individual consciousness and collective consciousness, helping to raise the vibrational frequency of entire groups of people. This power manifests as an unusual ability to shift the energy of rooms, meetings, or gatherings simply through your presence. You might notice that tense situations become more peaceful when you arrive, that groups become more cooperative and harmonious when you're present, or that people seem to access their higher wisdom more easily when you're around. This isn't about being charismatic or socially skilled, though those qualities might be part of how this power expresses itself. This is about your consciousness serving as a tuning fork that helps others align with higher frequencies of love, peace, and wisdom. Many chosen ones discover this ability in professional settings, where they find themselves naturally becoming mediators, facilitators, or the person others turn to when they need clarity or resolution. Others discover it in family or social situations, where their presence seems to bring out the best in others. The key to developing this power is understanding that you're not trying to control or manipulate others. You're simply maintaining your own alignment with love and truth, and allowing that alignment to create a field of possibility that others can choose to step into. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share will reveal the fifth hidden power, and this one explains why you've always felt like you could communicate with consciousness in ways that others can't. The fifth hidden power is universal communication. This is the ability to communicate with all forms of consciousness not just humans, but animals, plants, spiritual beings, and even the consciousness that exists within seemingly inanimate objects and natural phenomena. You've probably experienced this power in subtle ways throughout your life. Maybe you've had moments where you felt like you could understand what an animal was thinking or feeling. Perhaps you've sensed the personality or energy of trees, crystals, or natural places. You might have experienced communication with deceased loved ones, spirit guides, or other non-physical beings. This ability is based on the understanding that consciousness is the fundamental fabric of reality, and that all forms of consciousness can communicate with each other when we know how to tune into the right frequency. It's not about hearing voices or having dramatic supernatural experiences. It's about developing sensitivity to the subtle ways that consciousness communicates through energy, emotion, imagery, and direct knowing. Many chosen ones find that this ability becomes stronger as they spend more time in nature, as they develop their meditation practice, or as they work with spiritual healing modalities. The key is learning to quiet your mental chatter enough to perceive the subtle communications that are always available. The sixth hidden power is timeline perception and navigation. This is the ability to perceive multiple potential timelines and to consciously choose which timeline you want to experience. Most people live their lives on autopilot, unconsciously creating their future based on their past conditioning and current beliefs. But chosen ones have the ability to perceive the quantum field of possibilities and to consciously navigate toward the timelines that serve their highest good. This power manifests as an unusual ability to sense what's coming, to make decisions that seem to defy logic, but lead to perfect outcomes, and to navigate life changes with an intuitive knowing of which path to take. You might experience this as prophetic dreams, sudden insights about future possibilities, or a strong inner knowing about which choices will lead to which outcomes. The key to developing this ability is learning to distinguish between fear-based projections of the future and true timeline perception. Fear creates limiting timelines based on worst-case scenarios, while true timeline perception shows you the possibilities that exist when you're aligned with your highest potential. Now, here's where it gets even more profound. The seventh hidden power is karmic pattern recognition and healing. This is the ability to perceive the karmic patterns that are playing out in your life and in the lives of others, and to consciously work with these patterns to create healing and resolution. Karma isn't about punishment or reward. It's about learning and growth. Karmic patterns are recurring themes, relationships, and situations that appear in your life to give you opportunities to develop specific qualities, heal specific wounds, or learn specific lessons. Most people unconsciously repeat these patterns over and over, but chosen ones have the ability to recognize them and work with them consciously. This power manifests as an ability to see the deeper spiritual lessons in challenging situations, to understand why certain people or experiences keep appearing in your life, and to recognize when you've completed a karmic cycle and are ready to move on to new levels of growth. You might notice this ability as an unusual capacity to help others understand their relationship patterns, to see the spiritual purpose behind their challenges, or to recognize when someone is ready to break free from limiting cycles in their life. But here's what most people don't realize about these hidden powers. They're not meant to make you feel special or superior to others. They're tools that you're meant to use in service of your mission as a chosen one. The eighth hidden power is dimensional bridge building. This is the ability to serve as a bridge between different dimensions of consciousness, helping to anchor higher dimensional energies into physical reality and helping others access higher states of consciousness. As a chosen one, you incarnated during this time of planetary awakening specifically to help facilitate the shift in consciousness that's happening on Earth. Part of your role is to serve as a living bridge between the old paradigm of separation and fear and the new paradigm of unity and love. This power manifests as an ability to help others access their own spiritual gifts, to facilitate healing and transformation in individuals and groups, and to anchor higher vibrational energies into physical situations and environments. You might experience this as an unusual ability to help others have spiritual breakthroughs, to create sacred space wherever you go, or to facilitate healing and transformation simply through your presence and intention. Fellow chosen ones, I want you to understand something crucial about these hidden powers. They're not fully activated until you accept your role as a chosen one and commit to using your gifts in service of others. These abilities exist in potential within every awakening soul, but they only become fully accessible when you align with your soul's purpose and dedicate your life to serving the highest good. This is why some people have glimpses of these powers, but can't access them consistently. They haven't yet made the commitment to step fully into their role as a spiritual servant. The activation of these powers is directly connected to your spiritual maturity, your level of self-awareness, and your willingness to take responsibility for the impact you have on others and on the world. The universe doesn't give powerful abilities to people who aren't ready to use them wisely, but here's what I want you to understand. You don't have to be perfect to begin developing these powers. You don't have to have your life completely figured out or be free from all personal challenges. You just have to be sincere in your desire to grow, to serve, and to use whatever gifts you have for the benefit of others. The development of these hidden powers is a gradual process that unfolds as you're ready for each new level of ability and responsibility. Start where you are, with whatever gifts you can recognize in yourself right now, and trust that as you use them in service of love, more will be revealed to you. Now, here's how to begin consciously developing these hidden powers. First, acknowledge that you possess these abilities. Stop dismissing your intuitive hits, your healing experiences, or your moments of expanded perception as coincidence or imagination. Begin to pay attention to these experiences and to honor them as real aspects of your spiritual nature. Second, practice regularly. Like any ability, these spiritual powers become stronger with conscious practice. Meditate daily, work with energy healing techniques, spend time in nature, and create regular opportunities to tune into your intuitive guidance. Third, use your gifts in service of others. The fastest way to develop these powers is to use them to help other people. Offer healing energy to friends who are suffering. Share your intuitive insights when they might be helpful. Use your presence to bring peace to difficult situations. Fourth, study and learn from others who have developed these abilities. Read books, attend workshops, find mentors who can guide you in developing your specific gifts. You don't have to figure everything out on your own. Fifth, maintain your spiritual alignment. These powers are most accessible when you're operating from love rather than fear, when you're aligned with your highest values, and when you're committed to serving the greatest good. And finally, be patient with yourself. The development of spiritual abilities is a lifelong journey, not a destination. Trust that you're exactly where you need to be in your development, and that your powers will unfold in perfect timing as you're ready for each new level of ability and responsibility. The world needs you to step into your full power as a chosen one. Humanity is going through a massive awakening process, and we need people who can serve as bridges between dimensions, who can facilitate healing and transformation, who can help others access their own spiritual gifts. Your hidden powers aren't meant to remain hidden forever. They're meant to be developed, refined, and used in service of the greatest good. Every time you use your gifts to help another person, to bring healing to a situation, or to anchor higher consciousness into physical reality. You're fulfilling your mission as a chosen one. Your time is coming, fellow chosen one actually. Your time is here. The world is ready for what you have to offer. And you're ready to begin consciously developing the extraordinary abilities that have been waiting with your entire life. You have more power than you realize, literally. These hidden abilities are your birthright as a chosen one, and they're waiting for you to recognize them, develop them, and use them in service of love. You're exactly where you need to be in your spiritual development, even if you feel like you're just beginning to understand your true capabilities. And your mission, whatever form it takes, will be empowered by these gifts in ways that will amaze and inspire you. Remember this, every great spiritual teacher, every powerful healer, every person who has made a significant positive impact on the world started exactly where you are now, with hidden powers waiting to be discovered and developed. Trust yourself, trust your gifts, and trust that as you commit to using your abilities in service of others, the universe will support you in developing them beyond what you currently imagine is possible. Welcome to your awakening as a fully empowered chosen one. Your hidden powers are hidden no more. It's time to let them shine. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because you won't want to miss what's coming next. This isn't just a video. It's a calling for the chosen ones like you.